I'm there. Like, I think we have come to a consensus after watching Bronny that he is not ready to go to the NBA. I despise nepotism unless it benefits me and my family. And so this whole Nepo baby deal that we got going on with Bronny I am not here for. Bronny James is hands down the biggest failure in NBA history. Why, you ask? One word: nepotism. This kid is getting Hall of Fame level attention for skills that are practically non-existent. Let's be real. He hit the genetic lottery being LeBron's son, but that doesn't mean he should be prancing around like he's an NBA superstar. It's baffling. We need to call this out. It's bad behavior. Like, no, huge red flag for me. Yeah, I would agree there. I mean, come on. Look at what he's averaging right now. He's still young. He's nowhere near ready for the NBA. And I mean, I know LeBron, you want to play with your son here, but come on, like, you got the guy barely understands the game's basics, yet here he is, soaking up attention as if he's the NBA's crown jewel. Bronny's out there on the court, looking like he'd struggle to keep up with a local pickup game, and somehow we're supposed to buy that he's the future of basketball. You know, every hour a new Nepo baby is born. Never forget. Bronny James, the kid who walked into the NBA not through the front door, not even the back door, but on a red carpet rolled out just because his last name is James. His career has got to be one of the most painful things to watch, all while the media acts like he's the second coming of his father, LeBron. The guy couldn't even average 5 points in college. That's right. 5 measly points. You know, like what a random high schooler scores at the YMCA on a bad day. And yet here we are watching this overhyped mess unfold as if he's supposed to be the NBA's next superstar. It's unfair to some degree. You don't allow him to kind of navigate pure family legacy. Because his skills sure didn't get him there. You see, the media is eating this up, trying to paint it as some fairy tale father-son narrative, when in reality it's a horror show that no one asked for. Like, you gotta think about what's best for your son. This man is giving 5 points a game, 3 rebounds. I hold LeBron more at fault than anybody for this situation. I agree. No, absolutely. I respect him for looking out for his kid, but come on, they're out here rolling out the red carpet for a guy who's given us nothing but underwhelming, below-average performances. This is like calling a homemade VHS tape a blockbuster film. You can slap a label on it all you want, but the talent, completely non-existent. Let's get into the stats for a second because honestly, they're too good to ignore. College was supposed to be his big shot, his time to shine, but did he even show up? Barely. His stats tell the sad, sorry tale. Averaging under 5 points per game, shooting below 40%, and somehow managing a shooting split that would make even a bench warmer cringe. We're talking about a guy who was lucky to score at all, and yet he's getting more hype than people who actually put in work. It's like watching someone trip over their own feet and being told it's ballet. Then came the Summer League, his supposed next big step, and let me tell you, it was a complete train wreck. This guy could barely get through the competition, scoring an impressive 8.8 points on 35% shooting. Oh, and his three-point accuracy? A jaw-dropping 16%. If he were trying to break records for most bricks, he might be a Hall of Famer, but shooting a basketball? Not so much. And ball handling? Passing? Defense? Forget it. If they were handing out grades, he'd be scoring a solid F in every category, every area of his game. From handling the ball to defending, screams, I don't belong here. And let's not pretend preseason was any better. Bronny managed to contribute a grand total of 2 points across 2 games, 2 points. He threw in 4 turnovers for good measure and wrapped it all up with a staggering -28 rating. Ranking dead last, he went above and beyond to prove he doesn't even belong on the bench. This was supposed to be the time to show what he's got, to step up and prove the doubters wrong. Instead, he barely showed anything but how outclassed he is. Now let's talk about what scouts have to say. Bronny James is an undersized guard with absolutely no standout skills. He's not a sharpshooter, his playmaking ability is laughable, and his defense? Non-existent. Scouts aren't even sugarcoating it. They're straight up saying that if his last name weren't James, he'd be lucky to make a high school roster, let alone the NBA. The guy's got no physical advantage, no special talent. No reason for anyone to be talking about him beyond his famous dad. Let's break down what the actual hardworking NBA players look like, shall we? Players picked in the second round usually grind their way up from the bottom, defying the odds every step of the way. Nikola Jokic and Jalen Brunson didn't walk into the league with a golden pass. Jokic clawed his way from the 41st pick to two-time MVP, practically redefining what it means to dominate the court. Jalen Brunson turned himself into a consistent, high-impact player for the Knicks. These guys are the real deal, playing every game with grit and skill because they had to earn every inch. Meanwhile, what does Bronny have? A last name, and that's about it. And then there are scrappy guys like Austin Reeves and Alex Caruso, who didn't just appear in the NBA one day. Reeves grinded through 5 years in college, evolving from a bench warmer to a standout. Caruso had 4 years of blood, sweat, and hustle. None of the heart, and most definitely none of the talent these guys bring to the table. But no, we're supposed to buy into this LeBron-Bronny fairy tale as if Bronny's earned this. Let's be honest, without that last name, Bronny wouldn't be anywhere near an NBA roster. He didn't take the hard road, he skipped it altogether. It's like watching a puppet show where someone else is pulling the strings, and we all know who's backstage, don't we? LeBron himself. The Lakers didn't draft Bronny for his game. They drafted him for a PR stunt orchestrated by one of the most powerful men in basketball. LeBron wanted his family photo in the Lakers jersey, and everyone else just had to fall in line. And let's not ignore the real father-son duos who actually deserve respect. Ken Griffey Jr. in the MLB? That guy was a powerhouse from the start, not riding on dad's coattails but creating his own legacy. Gordie Howe's sons earned their place in the NHL without daddy's shadow paving the way. The manufactured legacy of LeBron-Bronny doesn't even come close to these real sports icons. It's not a legacy. It's a storyline LeBron crafted because apparently his own achievements weren't enough. Now he has to drag his son along too. Need to call this out, it's bad behavior. Like no, huge red flag for me. Yeah, I would agree there. I mean, come on, look at what he's averaging right now. He's still young, he's nowhere near ready for the NBA. And I mean, I know LeBron, you want to play with your son here, but come on. LeBron's influence over the Lakers has been an open secret for years. And sure, Rich Paul and Clutch Sports deny it. But anyone with a pair of eyes can see what's going on. The Lakers, once a franchise known for its elite roster and iconic play, have turned into a playground for LeBron's personal agenda. They're no longer about building a team for championships, they're about building a team to please their biggest star. With Bronny on the court, it's like the Lakers are auditioning for a reality show, not an NBA championship. Gone are the days of legends like Kobe and Shaq leading the charge. Now, it's all about LeBron's vanity project. Meanwhile, the media falls over itself to sell this fantasy. Pundits like Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins are more than happy to play cheerleader, calling this a historic moment. Historic for what? Nepotism? They're painting this whole charade with pretty words, but what they won't admit is the obvious. Bronny doesn't belong here. I'm looking forward to watching that history because it not only says a lot about LeBron. I mean Bronny, but it says so much about LeBron and his longevity. They'd rather sugarcoat the whole thing than admit they're part of the machine pushing LeBron's narrative forward. And the real losers? The fans who have to watch this cringe fest while real talent sits on the sidelines, because they knew that the Lakers had the 55th pick and that LeBron James is going to make sure that the Lakers grab them. Ladies and gentlemen,